Champions of the AFC, the New England Patriots. We'll move on to them because we've just gone on about how incredible Seattle are. I can say the same thing about the New England Patriots. There is a reason why these two teams have got to the Super Bowl. We'll go on to maybe some of the negatives, but they are the underdog in this. I think they'll love that. I think they'll absolutely love that as a team. I think Vrabel will love that. I think Drake loves that. The fans love that because I think it's a prove it moment. It's we're here to establish that we are going to be back into a dynasty era. They went through so many years of being so incredible. They had their down years. Of course, they had their down years. And they've had their down years this time, and they've come back and they've bounced back and they look better than ever. Drake May, we were so complimentary of Sam Darnold. He's even younger than Sam Darnold, freshly drafted only a year ago into his second year. And we said this from the start when he came in that when he got drafted. This guy has got something. He was overcoming the coaching negativity last season. He was overcoming Gerard Mayo. He was overcoming it all. He was still playing at a very good level because he is that level. He is this good a quarterback. And who's he going to throw it to? This wide receiver room, no good, not got any stars. Well, he's proven that he doesn't need stars because these guys, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Carl Williams, Mac Hollins. These are Hunter Henry is a household name. Stephon Diggs is a household name, but Stephon Diggs is not the Stephon Diggs we saw in Minnesota or really at the start of Buffalo. He's been using a different way. He's not seen the targets and he's come in and I think he's completely accepted the role that I'm the vet leading the guys. And then we flip on to the other side of it with the defense. I don't think the defense has got really, again, notable stars. Gonzalez, you could argue on your days a top 10 cornerback, maybe even a top 5 cornerback for some people, but has had his injury bug. Milton Williams impressed in the Philadelphia last season, but I have to admit and I have to say, I thought he got his plaudits when they got to the playoffs. It wasn't so much he was getting the plaudits in the season. It was more of a notable thing of when he got into the playoffs, which suddenly he was this incredible defensive tackle, but he's been remarkable this season as well. And Vrabel coming in, we've said it continuously, haven't we, Adam, that this was the massive mistake by Tennessee. It was a real big mistake. It was a massive question mark for all of us of like, what are Tennessee doing here? Yeah, all right, they've had some turbulent moments with Vrabel, but this guy can clearly coach, and he's a good coach. There was that question of can he get them all the way? But under him, they got to the AFC Championship. Like, what people are going to go, that was just Derrick Henry. Like, come on, like this guy can coach. He knows what he's about. And the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniel, is tried and proven. We know what he's about. Yes, he's no good as a head coach, but this guy can coach offensive football in the NFL, and he's done it for years and years now. Why is it that they are the underdog? Is it because Seattle are such a juggernaut, or is it that there is a little bit more chinks in the armor for the Patriots, maybe?
I think that the reason that they're the underdog is that you can clearly sort of, when you look at the Seattle team as a whole, it's really difficult to find a spot where the weakness is, or find a spot where you can go, the Patriots are better than them in that area. I don't see it. Like when you look at, for all that you've said about the Patriots and these players that they've got, when you look at, say, like the offense, so Drake May has been great this year. I think we all when he came out of college, we all kind of felt that he was going to be really, really good. And there was a lot of us that a lot of people were coming out and saying that he would be the number 1 pick in most years. It's just that Caleb Williams was there, and the promise of Caleb Williams was kind of what everyone liked. But May looked really good, and I think that there was a lot of people on his side. But when you look at the offense, you can come out and say that Stephon Diggs has done well, and he has played his kind of veteran role. And he has done more this season than what Cooper Kupp has done. So you can't take that away from him. But the thing is like, for the Seahawks, that's their number 2. And for the Patriots, it kind of feels like it's their number 1. And I think that's where the issue is. And it's just a little bit like that. You look at the O-line and you go at how well the Seattle O-line has played all season long, the fact that Gray Zabel has been able to just come in effortlessly and help shore up that left side, and the right side's been great as well. And it's like the whole line's been good. Will Campbell is his first year playing left tackle in the NFL. It's like you could see in some of the playoff games they were targeting him on purpose because it was the first time that he was playing that position. And say like against the Texans, you got like Hunter and Will Anderson coming at you. It's like it's going to be tough. Well, the Seattle pass rushers, they're not bad. They're not Will Anderson, but they're not bad. And so they're going to target him again. And it's just like the O-line in general just isn't quite as good as what the O-line of the Seahawks is. Again, you go to the defense and it just kind of feels a little bit like, yeah, they've got some good players there. It's like you say, Christian Gonzalez, great corner, really good corner. Harold Landry and Robert Spillane have done really well as veterans to help them out. It's not the Seattle defense, though, is it?
But the names on to counteract this, there might not be names on paper, but this team has performed. They're a top 5 defense. They're tremendous defense, and you said they've done it without probably some headline names. And again, on the other side, you say about the O line, Drake has overcome that. The run game has overcome that as well. Ramondre Stevenson and Traven Henderson.
I think that's going to be a huge thing if they've got any chance. It's going to be Drake May rushing. I think that he's going to have to run the ball a lot, and he's going to have to sort of do what he did in the last game against Denver. I think that's going to be the way that they're going to get through this if they've got any chance of getting there. So yeah, I think there is a little bit of that, and the run game has done well. I suppose the problem is that it's just very difficult, because I would argue that the Seahawks defense doesn't necessarily have amazing name recognition in it. This is the point. It's like it kind of feels the same sort of thing. They're quite young, and they got a couple, but then so have the Patriots. It just feels, when you look at the way they play, and yards per play over the season, yeah, the Patriots defense was 7th. They did really, really well. Seahawks were 4th. This is what I mean. It's like every stat you look at, everything you go through, it just feels like the Seahawks are just that bit better. And I think that's why it's difficult. And then, of course, there's the obvious issue that everyone points to, where you just come out and go, Patriots didn't play anyone.
I was glad you're going to say that. Very glad. Because I don't think we can count the Patriots out. They've got here for a reason. They've been a very good team. There's a lot of positives. And I think that in the hands of this coaching setup, this is a lot more formidable than maybe it is under some. It is shown that this team is a lot more formidable than it is than other teams.
Yeah.
If they beat Seattle, is that unfortunately the albatross that's going to be around their neck? Is that, well, you didn't beat anyone to get there, even though they beat in most people's brains the best team in the NFL at the minute.
Who?
The Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, well, you mean,
like,
yeah, in the final. Seattle, yeah.
They think that the albatross, inevitably, the thing that is going to come out is, yeah, well, you beat Seattle, but you didn't beat anyone big.
Yeah. It's going to be like it all
to get to the Super Bowl. But then surely beating what is, again, in most people's mind, the best team in the NFL, if that is true, I mean, for me, I think they are. I firmly believe the LA Rams were, but they beat the LA Rams to get there, so they must be the best team in the NFL.
I suppose it's not necessarily a case of whether the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL. I mean, yeah, I think it's difficult to come out and say that they're not, because they were the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it's more about this season, I would say, rather than the fact they got to the Super Bowl. That's what I would argue, because it's like I think your season ranking, that's playing over 17 games, so it is tough. But it's like, so you kind of feel like you have to come out and say, no, the Seahawks probably are the best team this season from what they've done. But Yeah, unfortunately. Well, look, at the end of the day, the record book, there's not going to be an asterisk, is there, saying, oh, you didn't play anyone. But the point is that, yeah, everyone is going to come out and go, you got to the Super Bowl and you didn't play anyone. Because in reality, if you actually look at who the Patriots played during the season, they played the Bills twice, who got to the playoffs, and they played the Steelers once, who kind of snuck into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all they did. Oh, and they lost to the Steelers as well. And yes, they beat the Bills, but they also lost to the Bills. So actually, 2 of their 3 losses came against the 2 teams that they played that actually made the playoffs. The issue now is that you're playing against the Seahawks team, who not only played against the 49ers twice and the Rams twice, but they also played the Steelers and beat them. They played the Texans and beat them. They played the Jaguars and beat them. Anyone else? They played the Panthers and beat them. Now, I know that, you know, some of them teams, okay, they didn't get very far in the playoffs.
Well,
it's the same argument.
The Patriots did beat the Panthers as well. Just if we're for the sake of
They
being fair,
did.
for the sake of being fair.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that they lost to.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just. Did the Patriots play the Panthers? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I'm
Oh yes,
looking
they
at
did. They beat them, didn't they, quite early on? So
42-13 in week 4.
so that there's, you know, it's not a case of like they've literally played no one. But when you put them up against the Seahawks, there's a clear and obvious sort of, the Patriots' schedule has been much, much easier. And I think that is another reason why everyone's going, they're not going to win. Which, look, at the end of the day, it kind of is, you know, it's a one-off game. Who knows? They've got a chance. And I think it's unfair to just come out and go, oh, well, they're not going to win. It doesn't matter. But I think if you're looking for clues, you know, these kind of the things that you see and you look at and you just go, well, they haven't played many people or difficult teams, so I'm going to go on the side of the Seahawks because of it. I think that's what most people's argument will be.
Well, what have they got to do then to beat the Seattle team? Because in my brain, it's you can't turn over the ball. You absolutely can't.
No.